7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And they're off. And it's a battle into the first turn for control. The battle continues by the half and approaching the far turn. Stride for stride past the three-quarter pole and approaching the top of the stretch. And as they hit the top of the stretch, it's mission brief. Foiled again, Muscle Hill, Captain Treacherous, and Vegas Vacation. Lucky Jim, a rock and roll dance via Magician. Sebastian K approaches the line. Guccio is coming late, and as they hit the wire, it's too close to call.
Now here's North American Harness update on SRN1.
I'm not sure how many of you out there would consider yourself, quantify yourself, categorize yourself, any other synonym of whatever word it is I am trying to convey. I don't know how many of you would categorize yourself out there as an inquisitive mind necessarily. I, however, think I am the inquisitive mind. There have been many to come before me, like Sherlock Holmes, the guy who had to always wash his hands, but he was also a detective, and I think he was also Buddhist or something. I guess that's why his name was Monk. Other kinds of minds to come before me. I think those might have actually been the only two. And now there's me, unfortunately. And there's certain times that I'm looking out at this world, and there's something just catches my eye, and I can only think, why? Which I understand is the exact same question people think when they look right at me, but I am not the subject for once in my life. As much as I would love to be, it is not I who this pertains to. Rather, it is I the one saying it. But why was it that there were just these hordes of people who would put cats in bags, so much so that when they got out, it became a common phrase? That is the question I pose for tonight's show, and we will, for this next 2 hours, only talk about why we as a people say the cat's out of the bag, as if it was just, you could not stop people from collecting their cats and putting them in burlap just for the sake of it, doing nothing else but just having the feline in the sack, which I think, Rod, that was the original phrasing of the statement, the felines out of the sack, but then it became a little more tame over time to the cats out of the bag. When you were growing up, because for everyone out there watching this show, Rod is our resident old man. He was born in the year 1804, or at the very least, acts like it. And Rod, I'm just curious, when you were growing up, was that just instead of toy blocks and tricycles, you were just putting cats in bags? I'm so confused by this. Why do we say it?
I don't know who says that anymore.
What do you mean, who said? Rod, oh, maybe you're too old for that. That certainly is possible. You probably get your knickers in a bunch, I imagine.
No, I've never heard anybody say that.
Well, if the lesson of this show so far, that's not a sentence. The lesson of this show so far is you should get out more. But I can't believe you haven't heard anyone ever say. Everyone in the comments right now is probably ripping you for not ever knowing that common turn of phrase of the cat's out of the bag.
No, I know the phrase, but nobody says that. Knickers in a bunch? No, nobody has ever said that in my life. If they did, they'd probably get punched.
Well, I mean that of course is that's just how common culture goes. If someone says something that it just makes you confused, instead of trying to understand what exactly they're saying, you just hit them. Yeah. I mean, just ask Malcolm X. He understood that. But that's not the point of this show. The point of the show is we will at some point figure out why there was just this point in time people were putting cats into bags. I will not rest. I will not stop this show until I figure this out. So hopefully I'm still going to be done by 11 anyway. I'm acting like I'm committed to this bit. There's also... What is this show? This is North American Harness Update. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. This is a show where we talk about harness racing. We talk about betting, blah, blah, blah. I know what I'm talking about. Rod kind of knows what he's talking about. Mike is currently on a missions trip to Cuba. He's trying to salvage the cigars lost in a magnitude 3.6 earthquake. Some of them actually...
He's not doing that.
No? Well, Rod, don't... Okay. I was trying to make it sound like what Mike was doing was nothing. Mike is actually... He has replaced the Mars rover. And so... We're rooting for him in his next choice of career. He's going to do a great job gazing at the cosmos on the barren planet that for some reason we all think we're going to live on someday. I don't know about you. I don't even want to live in Los Angeles, let alone the planet Mars. I don't understand the romanticization of this dust ball up in the sky.
I live in LA. Only problem is TVG won't even get me on the phone, so there goes that idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're also learning Rod does not know what a map is. This show is already going so well so far. But also, we have the luxury of this time where I could just, be my most genuine self, so that way I can ruin any semblance of a career I might have. Because the first races we talk about tonight don't start for a little while, since at the Raceway Western Fair District, their NAHU Pick 4, I say there because someday every racetrack is going to have a NAHU Pick 4, so we're going to have to distinguish which one is which that we're talking about, because at this point my pockets will be so loaded with coinage that my cargo shorts will sag so much to the ground they'll just be de facto pants. I'm going to be so rich as a result of this empire that shouldn't necessarily exist, much like the Romans, but nature did its course with that. I don't know what it's waiting for with me. Nonetheless, London's Pick 4 starts with race 8. That's coming up in approximately like 14, 15, maybe 20 minutes. It might just go off tomorrow. We don't know yet. But Rod Allums Jr. is going to join me for that. Mike Prebosi, he's currently on the Amtrak from New York City to Chicago, Illinois, where he is going to fulfill his dreams of being a Rockette dancer. So let's all congratulate Mike on his new career path and wish him only the best. And of course, Rod is just given up words entirely. All of his analyses now are just going to be sound effects because his one dream in life was to be like Stephen Hawking, just without the intelligence or the good looks or the wheelchair. Really, I don't know what you're going for at this point, Rod. You might as well just give up.
The glasses, I got that.
Stephen Hawking did not rock aviators. He
had glasses. On that.
But, well, here's the thing. Aviators aren't glasses, okay?
They are.
No, they aren't.
Do they cover my eyes?
They cover your eyes, but
can I see through them?
Glasses are a form of vision enhancement. Okay? What you wear is aesthetic.
Baller.
It's the same way, Rodney. It's the same way, Rodney, where I run into these 20-year-old females who may or may not want me to read them a story I wrote, And I don't like how this is going so far, so I'm going to rephrase it. I run into these 20-year-old females in front of me in line at the Starbucks just giggling to themselves because they're wearing their glasses and they see me and they go, oh, he actually can't see. And then they take theirs off and they rip their ponytail out and they swing it back and forth all Baywatch style because for some reason the 90s will never die. And they're just appropriating my blindness for their own benefit. Rodney, this is a hate crime, I think. I will not stop this show until we end white girls taking our style because they think it's cute we can't see.
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Get with the times, Rod. I see those clocks in your house. They haven't been moving since the year 2004. And even then...
Did you see my sign tonight? Did you see the sign tonight?
I can't even read, but go... What does it say?
You can't even weed.
Wait, your sign said I can't even weed?
No. It says 1.55 million question mark. I can make that much money in 5 seconds. Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes, you got to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer, the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, whatever the rest of that soliloquy is, William Shakespeare. You got T.S. Eliot saying, for morrow this dirt will be us in the dust, and I the sands of time. So, with all that in mind, get down on your knees, baby. T.S. Eliot, then Napoleon Dynamite. Just the artistry and the poeticism. He's
I
really
know.
up there.
I know every single word of that movie.
I guess that's better than White Chicks. Let's be honest.
Wait, are you actually dissing Napoleon Dynamite?
I'm dissing White Chicks.
Oh, I can't blame you there.
Okay, but that was that was the moment Rod realized. Wait, they aren't white chicks in the movie. They just act like it. That's why it's called White. You had to remember the movie I was talking about because for a second you probably thought I was talking about Mean Girls. I understand. It's a very confusing time to live in. Just ask any governor of Virginia who thinks it's still the year 1960. But the NAHU Pick 4 is coming up over at the Waceway. The Waceway? I must have Benjamin Button's disease because my mouth is just going south. I don't think that was necessarily what Benjamin Button had. He was getting old too soon and young too long. What's the opposite of soon?
Not soon.
I think it's Shiite, actually. Okay, so that's a smart joke, ladies and gentlemen. Open up your Qurans to page 48, because everyone, and then we'll dissect this joke a bit later. But let's move on. It's not even in the Quran. That's actually a historical. Open up your history books to page 238, because if you go to NAHUPicks.com. No, Rod. I'm doing my plugs. If you go to NAHUPicks.com, not only can you find racing analysis from tracks, including Meadowlands, Woodbine Standardbred, Western Fair, and now Rosecroft. You can also find our shop site where we are now selling the textbook that are required for this course. If you do not have these textbooks, you will not pass this semester. So you're going to have to go on there and purchase. I really wish I thought I was going to do this bit before the show, so that way I could just have textbooks queued up on our shop page for people to buy. Just have them spend like $300 on green eggs and ham, but I just write in the margins why it's actually the new Citizen Kane. That would have been wonderful, I thought, but I don't have that kind of foresight, which is probably why I need these glasses. NAHUPicks.com, nonetheless, for racing analysis. My Meadowlands picks have been doing all right so far. Rod's Western Fair numbers, I assume, are numbers. And then Mike has his analysis of every race night over for Woodbine Standardbred, but he is currently, he's his hands are full right now. He has begun trafficking organs for those who need it across third world country borders. He's become a kidney trafficker. Just so the people who need new kidneys can get their replacements and not have to be on the waiting list. So let's all give Mike a round of applause for his new choice in career. You really think he would just stick to one at this point? But he's a jack of all trades, and I'm going to end that there. Race 8 at London starts the NAHU Pick 4 with a race that is more specifically known as a $15,000 condition claimer for filly and mare pacers. We got 7 horses going postward, excuse me. I believe there are no scratches. You can correct me on that, Rod. There are no scratches?
I did not see any.
I did not check for any, so we're on the same page here.
Let's see here. 10th race 1, PC Eisenberg is out.
The 10th race. Oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't affect any of us.
It does.
And we'll talk about
does
why.
affect me. It does. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. Never mind. We're good.
No. All right. So this first leg is a condition claimer for filly and mare pacers. Rod, I think you agree with me here in that this sequence, I don't know how much it's going to pay. It seems much less competitive, or at least less difficult, than some of the past sequences we've seen here at London. I have a small ticket. You have a small ticket. Mike has a small ticket. But in this first leg, you're taking 3.
Yeah, I'm 3 deep here to start, but pretty chalky. The 3 Falls Creek is razor sharp right now. Came first over last week and almost got there. Just got beat in nose to a tough winner. And, it was a good race, so I can't fault that. And the last 3 starts, 2 seconds and a win. Draws well here. Hit the board in like over 3/4 of her starts last year and is 3 for 5 this season already. So, she's right there all the time. I can't fault anything she's doing right now and is likely going to be the favorite here. The 4 Ideal Toy moved up in class 2 starts back and beat the straight non-winners of 40,000 lifetime. Dropped back into the claimers last time, faded late. Just got caught by Falls Creek and the other one that I'm using here. But, maybe if she gets things her own way a little bit more tonight, she can hang on. Again, last week the track was very, very sloppy, and that half was one of the quicker halves of the night. So, maybe she can hold on tonight if she can get softer fractions for the conditions. And then the 7 Friends to the End, I think offers great value in here from post 7. That's the only concern, but she's coming in sharp. Her last 3 have been very good, and I like the way she's been racing recently. So the only key with her is she's got to get a trip and she's got to get close enough to be able to win this race. So if she can do those 2 things, I think she's got a great shot at decent odds. So I'm 3-4-7 here.
She definitely has to get into the race, or else she won't be in the race. That's a quote from Sun Tzu, if I've ever read one. So I'm 3 deep in this race also, but I stick more inside. I agree with you on Falls Creek and Ideal Toy. These are 2 mares that we've seen race consistently well in this class level over the last couple of weeks. The 1 horse I throw on is the 2, Together We Run, who last raced on January 25th, so hasn't raced in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Someone's been not wanting to wake up on the right side of the bed. Someone's been not wanting to go onto the track. My rule of 3's broke. Together We Run, though, coming off a 2nd place finish. Start before that, 1 at this level. Start before that was 2nd at this level. Start before that, 2nd again. The start before that, 1. And then the start before that one was 2nd. Hopefully you followed that through. This horse has finished 2nd or 1st at this class level in her last 6 starts. She has that inside draw. She should stick up close to the pace. And by doing that, as we see time and time again over at the old Oval at London, if you're up close, you might go to the coast. I believe that's what they say.
Who?
I'm getting word that is not what they say. In fact, what they actually say is sit towards the front and don't be. I can't say that word. What? Rod. We need a new writing staff. Since we've been picking up sponsorships, we've gone and hired a staff of up and coming writers. We found off of this great forum called Craigslist, and they so far they've not been to par, Rod. Partially because I don't think you have an eye for talent, but I mean, let's admit I'm here right now, but we gotta rethink our strategy. We gotta rethink our strategy with these writers. I could outright half of them, and I don't even try. I don't even know the English language. I speak Portuguese, if you can't tell. 2, 3, 4 for me in the first leg of the pick four at London, and of course, if that's the first leg of the pick four, that can only mean the leg after is the second. It's very intuitive when you start to think about it. The 9th race is a non-winner, is a $15,000 lifetime event. It's on the trot, which means the legs move diagonally on the horses. That's how they were taught to do it. If they do not, then they go gallopy to the grocery store. So we have 1, 2, 4, 8 horses going postward. Rod, I get that these are cheap trotters, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go all.
Yeah, it does for me.
All right.
I didn't see anything that stood out to me in here. But a quick overview of the race, the one draws well, likes to be up close, but, has a tendency to not finish races at all. So that makes that horse very vulnerable. And 2 for 36, that's iffy at best. The 2 Junior comes in off a pretty good race last time. He just sat in and never moved just to make sure the horse stayed flat. I think you're going to see him a little bit more aggressive tonight. And if this horse is feeling good, I really like his chances as a long shot play from a very good post here. The 3 Glide and Go, in good form against cheaper horses, fits in here, but I just don't trust Glenn Hardy. The horse has missed a month, so you've got a couple of variables there with that one. The 4 Great Glider. This is one I'm not keen on using. It's first start in this barn. Maybe the horse wakes up, but it's definitely going to need things to fall his way in order to win. But it has enough speed, so that's why I didn't toss this horse off at all. The 5, same type of story. He's been decent on and off. First over last week, didn't have anything late. That kind of bugged me a little bit, but maybe he bounces back to what we saw 2, 3, and 4 starts ago. Fast Glider, I think, is okay, but in decent form is a must play. The 7 has a bad post, but you look back to when this horse was similar. He was right there every week. Needs to finish the mile a little bit better. And I think coming from off the pace tonight, this horse should be closing a little better than what you see in those lines where he's been up close throughout the race. And then the 8 Big Yellow, who is a pacer, switched to trotter just a couple months ago. Yeah, this horse made over $100,000 on the pace.
Wait, oh, what?
Yes. This is a good pacer. And they switched him over to the trot because his last start over at Mohawk, he was trotting in the pacing hobbles. If you can believe that. That's what happened. I got that word from Sugar Doyle earlier today. And that's why they switched him over to the trot. And he's been solid. I mean, he's 2 for 2 on the trot. He does move over to London, which, I'm a little iffy about this move. The horse fits, but he's not shown me a ton over at Flamborough. So the jump up in class is a little scary, and I think maybe he's going to be overbet from the 8 posts, and I'm not keen on using him, especially coming to London for the first time on the trot for a pacing horse. So we'll see there. Like I said, I think he's a bit over bet. So I just hit the all button there.
If I'm not mistaken, trotting in the pacing hobbles is actually how Muscles Yankee got started. But my memory may not serve me correctly. But to me, I'm not necessarily worried about those miles at Flamborough. The fact that he's coming in off of 2 consecutive victories, I mean, I don't have to be a genius. In fact, I am far from it. And that's why I do use this horse on my ticket, because he's so incredibly obvious that you can just see he's the 8-5 morning line favorite and go, okay, he's probably a contender here. But I didn't even realize he was a pacer beforehand. I thought that they would, they wouldn't include that in the charts because that would be misleading, because you don't know.
Yeah, it's a different gate, so you have to treat this as a trot. I've seen a few of them that
I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. You don't see it very often. It's once every few years you'll see one that is double gated, and it's just a rarity to see a horse that can go sufficient speed on both gates to be able to make money, especially over 100,000 on the pace, and then you just switch over to the trot 4 years later. I mean, that's that part of it's pretty rare.
Yeah, it'd be like me propelling myself up the ladder in the harness racing industry and then deciding I wanted to be a jazz musician. Why would you do that? You already established yourself, but you know what? You just can't stop the jazz. It lives inside. Enough poking my breast. So aside from the 8, I mean, stop it. Stop doing that. It's mine. I'll poke it as much as I want. You need to stop. I do use the 8, Big Yellow. Aside from that one, I use 3 others. Glide and Go, one at the level below this last out, which was also here at London. At least has an affinity for the course, judging by her last couple of starts. Not necessarily against the top-notch trotters, but let's be honest, this isn't really that much of a class hike because most of these horses are not that good. So at the very least, it might be a slight step up, but it's so slight I can barely feel it, and I feel a lot of things. You should feel how my neck feels right now. It's on fire. Prime time. I have no idea what that noise you made was, Rod, but keep it up. I'm proud of you. Prime time has also been racing. I believe this is when my aneurysm will finally pop and I will finally taste color. But Prime time has also been racing well here in London in his last couple of starts. Hasn't necessarily had the best trips in a couple of those outings, but has been consistently involved either towards the pace, on the pace, closing into the pace, doing anything related to the pace. So much so that he was the favorite, or she was the favorite in her last 2 starts. Beaten favorite, mind you, did not win those races because she's not good. She's not a good girl, but maybe she can be a good girl this time around and actually win. I don't know. She has the capability by judging off her line. She needs the right trick. She needs the circumstances to oblige to her needs. And then I also use the 6, Fast Glider, who, if this one shows speed like he has in the past off the wings of the gate, they should get involved. My one concern is he did break last out, so they might be a little bit more careful with him this time around just so they can avoid having to qualify him. Aside from that, though, he has the tactical speed to get positioning. He's been racing decently at this level. He could certainly work out a trip. And at the very least, if he doesn't win, he's at least a contender for the underneath. So I'm 3, 5, 6, 8 in the second. The third leg is the 10th. Now it's a $3,500 trot. Rod, why not just single AJ Cash? Why do you even use one other horse? Come on, did you see this AJ Cash race last week?
I did. He crushed him last week, but I throw the 4 on there as well. Possible credit. Lauren Housestress for Heather Toll, who's been doing pretty well over there in London this season so far. Last week, the reason why I use this horse is last week he had broken equipment. He was going right with AJ Cash and kind of just flattened out. So I'm not sure what the broken equipment was. I'm assuming probably a flat tire just because the way he was finishing. He wasn't there late. So I think maybe you see something closer to what we saw 2 starts ago when he was second, come from dead last and was just absolutely flying there. I think he's got a shot here, and he's going to be decent value, especially in this pick 4. So I use him that way, and I'm hoping he can top the 5 AJ Cash, who's going to be a big favorite. He's won 4 of his last 5, and he's 2 for 2 in the Winnicott barn. So it's hard to fault him right now, but obviously he's going to be the horse to beat at a very short price, and he's a must-use, if not a single for most. So I'm hoping the 4 gets there, 4-5.
Yeah, I'm not, because the 4's not going to get there. AJ Cash has been racing too well. He's been racing too well for me to even think possible credit could possibly get the credit in this race, because, I get what you're saying, Rod. The horse does look good on paper, but then I kept looking at the program and went, oh no, I forgot this horse has to beat AJ Cash, and I just don't. It's a high task. I remember when Moses had to carry his people through the Red Sea, and that seemed impossible, but it still happened. I think that this is above the impossibility of that. Possible credit would have to open up Mariana's Trench in order to actually win this race. Don't fact check me. Don't even listen to what I'm saying, because quite frankly, I don't know what's happening right now. I'm just right. Final leg of this pick 4 is the 11th race. It's going in an added distance. Condition claiming event for $15,000 tag. We got 1, 2, 9 horses going postward here. But this time, Rodney, this time you go, I'm going to single the 5 horse.
Yeah, I'm singling the 5 Blue Moose for Isabel Darvaux and Rob Shepard. This one looks like a single, a legit single that should not lose this race. Last week, he came first over for a long way and just grinded. And as soon as Rob Shepard asked this horse to go, he took off and went right by the other horse that's going to be the second favorite here, the 1 Rasmus. He just popped right by him, did it with ease, and he looked like he was not even breaking a sweat doing it. So I think he's going to be in a good spot. Again, if he's not first over, he'll be second over, which might even be better for him. But the way he raced last week, I can't fault him. He looks like he's back to that form that we saw 4 starts ago, where he was beating this group, and maybe that 3-week layoff there did him well, taking a little bit of break there. So I single him. If you're going to use another horse, throw on the 1 Rasmus. He's obviously the second horse here, but I'm singling the 5 Blue Moose.
The one worry I would have is, after putting in an effort like the one he did last out, I probably should not throw this towards the screen, because that could be bad. If Blue Moose putting in a mile like that last out makes me worry that he might bounce, much like the castles that they blew up at my 4-year-old birthday party. And I don't necessarily think that would be advantageous for me if I singled this horse, because that would mean I would lose. At the same time, though, Blue Moose does like to race from more off the pace, or at the very least get rolling in the middle of the race, and because they're going a mile and a 16th, that could play into his hand a bit better than, say, going a 16th of a mile less than what they're going here. So a mile. Nonetheless, I also use the 1 Rasmus because he has that post advantage, and also because Mark St. Louis is that kind of guy that he's just, I think he's bonkers. So the pegs are loose. The elevators reach the wrong floor. The lights are on and nobody's home, but in the best way possible. This guy would park the Pope, I believe. And I want a guy like that with a speedster like this to go right to the top and stay on the top. Bam! That's what I think could possibly happen if Blue Moose doesn't win. So I'm 1-5 in that last leg, which makes my ticket go as follows. For 20 cents, for 2 dimes, 2 Jeffersons, He's not on the dime for 2. Who's on the dime? Rod, who's on the dime?
Lincoln.
No, it's William Henry Harrison. No, it's not Tyler. Tyler wouldn't get a coin. He made us go to war with Mexico.
It's Lincoln.
Polk. No, Polk was.
Who cares? What's your
couldn't
ticket?
Be Taft.
What's your
It
ticket?
couldn't
They're
be
post
Taft.
parading.
William Taft could not be on the smallest coin we have, but that's an archaic joke, ladies and gentlemen. For 2 dimes, 20 cents, for 2/10 of an American dollar, my ticket goes as follows. Or 1/5 of American dollar. For 20 cents, I'm 234 with 3568 with 5 with 15, $4.80 for 20 cents. Rod, your ticket.
347 with all with 45 with 5. It's $9.60 for 20 cents.
And then since Mike is absent, we still have his numbers. He goes 2-3 with 34568 with 56 with 145. That's a $12 play for 20 cents. You said they're parading. Does anyone look good? Is there a horse that's come out and you're like, wowzers, I want to take that one out for some pepperoni?
Not that I've seen just yet. These are horses that I see every single week. So, week to week, most of them look the same.
You see him every week.
But right now on your screen, you got the 7 Friends to the End, who does look fairly decent. He's kind of a lazy horse, though. He's got to wake up. It's tough from this post, though. You can't wake him up too much because he's got the outside post, and he needs some pace to chase. That's going to be his biggest factor where he finishes in here.
I don't know. At London, I feel like you'd want to wake up because not only could you smell the roses then, but also you get so revved up you can actually fly off the gate and possibly win the race. How many horses have closed from post 7 during this meet? That's my question. And I pose it to you, the viewers at home. Wait up. To you, the view. Where are the viewers at home located? They aren't in my home, I hope. Viewers! Okay.
We got viewers. Oh, by the way, while we're about a minute and a half from post here, give a couple of shout-outs to people watching. Our Pick 4 sponsor, Jeff Cullifer, watching right now. Mark Anderson, Russ Adams, who will be joining us here in a little bit. Greg Skelton, my brother Mike. There's probably a bunch of other people watching, but those are the last ones that I've seen.
For some reason, I'm wearing my winter jacket, even though it was 80 degrees in Pennsylvania today, and I shrugged my shoulders, and I'm worried I might become Andrew Dice Clay out of any lack of willpower. It's just going to happen. He's going to somehow channel his spirit into me, and then I'll go up a hill with $1.25, and Jill will come down with $2.50. Oh, no, that's not happening. Rod, we're in dangerous turf right now. I believe Andrew Dice Clay is trying to become me, or rather, he's trying to make me into Andrew Dice Clay. The jacket's coming off. I don't like what this is doing to me. 40 seconds to go until this race in London. Rod, if I forced you at gunpoint to make a bet, what would you do? You have 30 seconds. The gun is loaded. What are you doing?
I'm betting the 7 at 8-1. That's great value on this horse.
All right, I'm putting the gun down. Congratulations, you get to live for another race. They're getting ready to line up. I'm live to the 2, 3, and 4. Mike is live to the 2 and the 3. Rod has the 3, 4, and 7 to kick off the NAHU Pick 4 over at the Raceway in Western Fair District. 3-2, the 3, Falls Creek, now up to 8-5. Co-favorite then the 4. Neighboring him on the gate, Ideal Toy. From the rail, the 1, Emotions, the 3rd choice. At 4-1, 7 in line for the 8th in London. Start of the pick 4 is now away and a pacing. Ideal Toy taking his move for the lead after Falls Creek pushing for the front and getting to the pylons first in the first turn. Ideal Toy going to take the pocket. Emotions away third to the opening quarter, 2.5 lengths off the pace setter. Then a gap of about 3 to Together We Run in 4th. Bryn Baroness races from 5th ahead of Lady Everlong. Then Friends to the end. In the end of the field as they move on to the opening quarter, Falls Creek bet down to the 1-2 favorite, leads by a length and a half over Ideal Toy from second, opening quarter in 29 seconds. Emotions remains third into the turn as Together We Run looks to poise a bid first over from 4th. Behind him, Bryn Baroness getting ready to catch that cover, moving towards the half mile. Lady Everlong remains 6th, while Friends to the End trails this field with about 7.5 lengths to make up. Out from 4th comes Together We Run to try and give pursuit to Falls Creek, moving to Circuit 2. Sitting pocket remains Ideal Toy, who's now locked in through that 1 minute, 1/5 halftime, 31-1 breather for the tempo setter, Falls Creek. Ideal Toy bump drafts that one's helmet from second, a length and a quarter from the top, while Together We Run tries to advance first over from third into the backside. Emotions drops back, while Bryn Baroness second over's wide of that one, now taking 4th. Lady Everlong is third over in that flow, only 4.5 lengths off the lead, and Friends to the end in the rear of the field as they pass 3 quarters in 1, 29-4, 29-3 that third quarter. Ideal Toy shown the whip from the pocket, while Falls Creek maintains a length and a half advantage. Together We Run is trying to range up towards the leader, but Falls Creek kicking away from him, leads by 2 over Ideal Toy in second. Together We Run is holding third, but Falls Creek is blowing them away. Wins by 2 in the end. Ideal Toy second, Together We Run third. Friends to the End angled towards the center of the track and rallied for 4th. Falls Creek in 2 minutes flat. 2:00 as it's also known.
Chalk it up.
All right, so we all start with a 1-2 shot. That's I love starting pick 4s like this because it makes my heart go aflutter, so much so that it sounds like I'm in a helicopter. So we're up over the 405, and as you can see here, the traffic goes on for miles. The Krispy Kreme, I can keep going with that, but this is not Friday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you like to think it is. But Rod is alive, I am alive. Well, I mean, Rod is alive is a debatable sentence. Mike is also alive, as far as we know, in this pick 4 sequence. 3, 4, 2, 7. The top 4 numbers there. 1-2 over 5-2 over 10-1 over 11-1. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Meadowlands pick 4 is going to be starting soon.
Yeah, the 7th just finished.
The 7th did just finish. Who won that race? Just for
the 6th.
Oh, Reseda won? Then now's the moment. Wow. You ever have those moments where you're just so wrong?
Well, I mean, the horse was pretty obvious.
The horse was moving up from numbers of 8,500 into this, like, nearly preferred level.
I don't know if you know this or not, but every horse that Ron Burke puts on the racetrack at the Meadowlands this year is winning.
Yeah, but I did not pick this horse in protest of that because I support only locally sourced trainers. None of these big corporation trainers, unless they're really nice guys. But, you know, it's about those mom and pop shops down the street, the old parlor towns, if you catch my drift. I ride up on my 2004 Subaru, which is what I named my horse for some reason, and I dismount. You know, I give it a nice little pat on the rear just to let it know it did a good job, and then I shuffle my way into what were cowboys packing? They had to like waddle into saloons or anywhere in like a merrily will come marching in fashion But and also, did they put cats in bags back then too? When did this start? I still don't know where it started or where it ended, because I know people still put cats in bags. I know this because cats just appear in my neighborhood, and it's not because I can't say that on air. I can't say anything on air anymore. It's really unfortunate. I gotta be a clean act for my Christian tour that's coming up. I'm doing exclusively God jokes this summer. Tour date's coming on that later. But let's get rolling into this Meadowlands Pick 4. Make it quick and quick. The 8th race at the Meadowlands starts their $50,000 guaranteed Pick 4. It's a fillies and mares pacing event in hours of 9,200. They wrote this race for someone, and that someone is the 4 Juxta Cowgirl. Aside from that, 9 horses going postward in this opening leg. Rodney J. Allington of Alumville. 4 deep for you to start off.
Yeah, 4 deep. This whole sequence is really tough. I had to narrow a couple legs down here just for price reasons. But I'll start with the 5 Fancy Creek Jolene. Had no chance last time, coming from way off the pace on a front-end track. And that race ended up being the front end. I like the effort there. She raced fairly decently. Just had no chance. She wasn't in the right spot there. I think Andrew McCarthy is going to be a little bit more aggressive tonight and should have her in a decent spot to be close. Second start back on the big track. And she's had success against Tougher over here at the Meadowlands earlier this year and late last year. So I think she's a play. The 6, Milady Denver.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, I should be asking you that, mister, intruding on this broadcast. You must have taken a wrong turn on Maple Street.
Look, I brought ice cream with me.
Well, I mean, if you brought ice cream with you, then stick around for a bit while I give you directions to where you're trying to go, which was most likely
Where are we at?
Giants Stadium. We're talking about the
I'm in my
Meadowlands
house.
Pick 4. We're talking about the Meadowlands Pick 4 that is coming up in approximately 12 minutes. The first leg of the London Pick 4 went off. This is also a recap for everyone tuning in. Let me get there. You can't just get in the car and then go, okay, we're at Disney World, or else that's what makes me punch my kids, because they just won't shut their mouths. Over in London, the first leg of the Pick 4 was won by the 1-2 favorite Falls Creek. So everyone, and I do mean everyone, is alive into this next leg of the Pick 4 over at London. But Rod is previewing the first leg of his Pick 4 over at the Meadowlands, and then it was going to be me, and then our boy, Mr. Mike Prebosi, back home from war. He was single-handedly creating a ceasefire over in Syria. So congratulations, Mike. You're doing a wonderful job for this country, and we're glad you could take time out of your busy schedule to be on this show now.
They're still shooting.
But Rod, that noise is, or that sound effect, very appropriate for after talking about anything involving Syria. But you are 4 deep. I believe you have 2 more horses to talk about.
I got 3 more. Started with the 5, the 6, Milady Denver. This one was kind of a throw-in on the slight class drop. Raced well in the 2-hole last time over at Yonkers. I like the qualifier, and this horse has had a race here in the past. I think maybe this horse could get in the mix early with Pat Barry driving. He's been pretty aggressive at the Meadowlands recently, so it wouldn't surprise me. And this horse left from post 7 over at Yonkers last time. I do like that, and I like to see the aggression, especially in a race like this. I think Pat Barry's going to get this horse into the mix, and she'll have a shot at a good price. The 7, Covered in Diamonds. This one is definitely an off-the-pace type, but the horse likes to win, gets Marcus Miller, I think, is a play just based off of that, and its second start back off a couple-month layoff there, so this one is a must-play for me. Just needs to be flat to have a shot here at the big track. And then the 9, Believe in Me, is the obvious horse in the race as the morning line favorite. Comes back to the Meadowlands, had 2 seconds and 2/3 in the previous 4 starts here, and seems to like the track. Has faced tougher. This is a softer spot that maybe she can finally turn out a win against much easier than what she's been facing recently. So I am 5, 6, 7, 9.
Mike, those are your almost exact numbers, except you throw on Juxta Cowgirl.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look at my numbers. Sorry. I'm a bit unprepared.
I can say
I need the Jeopardy music. Where's the Jeopardy music at?
I got it.
Mike does not have the Jeopardy music. I bet you haven't even watched Jeopardy.
No, who did Rod have again? Sorry.
The 5, 6, 7, and 9.
Okay, so why not use the 4, Rod?
I didn't like the 4.
Okay,
That's
4.
no reason.
Let me explain why you should use the 4. The horse raced very well last year, made $112,000, won 7 times, came back, had no chance in that Bedham Jackie, race last time on February 8th. Now draws perfect, and is classier than most of these. I would expect this horse is probably being played too. I didn't really look at the odds, but you have the odds, Ray?
I do. The 4 is currently on the board at 6 to 1.
Okay, that's a huge price on that horse. I think the 5's a definite use. Rod talked about that one. The 6, outside post at Yonkers, moving inside. And then the 7, I thought off the drop, and Harmon, 8 wins last year. Marcus getting on. I like that. And then the 9, I'm not sure how much money this horse is going to take.
2 to 1 right now.
Outside post at Yonkers. What is it, 2 to 1?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are strong kickers over there, and I think that makes a difference. But I just don't know, if this horse is sub 2 to 1 in this race. I think it's just a little bit harder than that, and the post is going to hurt. So I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
I mean, in terms of class, Believe in Me should win this race. There's no reason that she shouldn't, especially considering the horses she's been up against in the past. Mike is really enjoying his ice cream right there. But Believe in Me has been finishing in behind Pen Pal, behind Diva's Image, so on and so forth. Delightful Memphis, much tougher mares than anyone in this field. Even though she has that outside post, she has the capability of winning here. And if she doesn't, then Brett Pelling must want to be a mommy. Then it's over. It must be over for that. From that point there. But I do use Believe in Me nonetheless. I do use Milady Denver. We all mentioned the fact that she's shipping in from Yonkers off those good miles from outside posts. I am a big proponent of horses going from the small track to the big track, especially if they can show speed like Milady Denver can. But also Barry loves to blast. That's why we in my household called him the Barry Blast, named after that thing from Dairy Queen that I think you could get for like a week before it gave everyone food poisoning. And Fancy Creek Jolene, this was the horse, Rod, that you said was a bet back last week. And that was partially because she tried to come from off the pace on a night when being off the pace was not the place to be because of the stretch headwinds. It was much better to be closer, or at the very least second over, coming into the lane and just maybe touching the wind in the final strides when kicking off cover. She was not in a great spot. She got rolling too late. Ended up finishing 5th in that race. This time around, the track seems much fairer, so that should play to her advantage a touch. And she also has a ton of back class too and has been racing in decent form in the last couple of weeks. I'm 5-6-9 to open this first leg of the pick 4, or to open this pick 4 over at the Meadowlands. Second leg is the 9th race, conditioned trot, and ours of 5,000 in the last 5 starts. Field of 10 going postward. Rod, you are the deepest here with 5.
Yeah, this race was really tough, I thought. Starting with the entry, the 1 and 1A, both of them play here. They are both trip horses, so you got to be wary about that. But the one Arch Credit gets a big post shift from 8-9, 7-3 of his last 4 starts to the 2-hole tonight. I think that alone makes him a play. And the 1A Final Dream with Eric Carlson just needs a trip to contend. Anytime he gets a decent trip and gets drug up into the mix, he's right there. So, that makes him a play. The 2 Casino Cutie gets Yannick Gingras to drive. I think that's a big change there, and that's the sole reason I'm using from the rail. The 4 2 Hip Dip is definitely a play here for Vinny Fusco. You get Dexter Dunn back on, drops in class, fits here well, and should be right in the mix from a pretty decent post. The 7, Alaska. This is a Abatello horse, has some issues, but raced very well last time over at Freehold, coming first over, just got caught late, almost held on to win there. 2 starts ago at Yonkers, I'm not sure what happened there, but something obviously was amiss. You can toss that race out, come back to those Meadowlands lines, and against much tougher than what she's facing tonight. That alone makes her a play in my book. Then the 8, Rock of Cashel. This is a Mark Harder horse. Mark Harder's been kind of on and off so far this year, but this horse has some back class. He's got enough speed. He's dropping in class. I think he's probably going to go off chalk in this race, so he's a must-use on the class drop. Tough post, but I think Corey Callahan's going to get him involved. So I'm 1, 2, 4, 7, 8.
All right, let's speed this up because they're parading and rapidly approaching the guarantee. Mike, you're 4 deep in the second leg.
Yeah, I agree with Rod on most of them. I think the entry's a must-use. I don't have a lot to say there. The 6, I think, Presidente Zet, no chance last time, 9-hole, numbers of 11-5. That's a drop for this horse. And, 5 wins last year, just needs to stay on gate. I mean, that's a key thing, I think, for this one. The 7, like Rod said, is obvious. Was chalk at Freehold last time, but has faced tough fields. And then the 8's a use just on back class. So 1, 6, 7, 8.
I used the 1 entry and the 2. 1 entry, the key to that one, I think, is the 1 Arch Credit. He's going to go for the pocket. He can win off the pocket. He's done it before. That's all he does, and he's probably going to try and do it again. Casino Cutie is the stronger of my 2 choices, I think. She tried to come from off the pace last week. Was disadvantaged by the headwind. Other than that, she races really well at this class level and should be given a better chance with that rail draw. Third leg's the 10th race, $7,500 claiming event. Mike and Rod, you're both 157, so fight over who gets to argue why.
I'll make an argument for the 1 here. Abby Lara, it's Jingra, Surik, the rail. What else do you need to know?
Why?
Why? I just gave you 3 reasons.
No, but you said what else you need to know, and I asked why. Because those aren't necessarily reasons.
They are reasons.
Okay, Mike, then why the 5?
Well, the 5 and the 7 are both dropping from 10,000, and the 10 claimers are much better than the 7,500. So those 2 are auto use for me.
I, meanwhile, am 4 deep using the 1, 4, 6, and 8. I agree with Abby Lara. He's usually good if he's stalking the pace up close towards the top. Ashok Ace likes to ride the rail, and if he rides the rail and the race collapses in front of him, he can capitalize. He almost did it last week at 40-1. I believe he was a top pick for me on the site last week then, too. I don't remember. I'm Sid the Kid has finished runner-up behind some better horses at this level, including Pop Joe, Magnum Mike, Lindy the 14th. Was best of the rest there. I don't really think this is a strong grouping this time around, so he could probably thrive in this bunch. And Justin Verlander is very similar to Ashok Ace. He just likes to kind of draft and hope for the best. So I'm 1, 4, 6, 8 in the third leg. Final leg's the 11th, and we must all be looking at a different race because none of us have the same numbers. Starting with you, Mike, you're on the 8 and the 9.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're kind of cutting out, but if you can still hear me,
Yes.
I'm 8-9 in the last. The 8's dropping out of that number. The straight number is 2-4. It was finished third last time. Those are just better horses. And then the 9 gets Jingra, third time back. I think that's a use.
And Rod, you're 1-5.
I'm 1-5 here. Another race that's just awful. The 1, Marcus Miller from the rail. Came first over last week. Just got a little tired late. I think Marcus gets away closer and just sits there tonight. Has a shot up the inside if he can get a 2 or 3 hole trip. And then the 5, Fox Valley Bailey. This is a Billy Mann horse. Go back to 2 starts back. Raced very well. Finished second there. Just got beat by Tearful of Happy, but Tearful of Happy was in a different barn that week, so be cautious on that. I think this horse definitely plays at a price. I'm hoping to get that far. If I do, then I'm covering with a couple more horses there. So 1-5.
Meanwhile, I'm 3-4-10. Sheer Talent ships in from Freehold. Before that, she had some decent miles against tougher than this level in the past. Was second to OK Heavenly looking back to January the 11th. Aside from that, has been racing well over on the half mile. Can definitely improve on the bigger track. Persuasive Hanover is usually competitive against this group. She just needs the right trip to work out for her. And the 10 Cheap Thrills was claimed on the 18th. Has not raced since then. Has the one qualifier under her belt, but she has enough early speed to get into the race early. And it's a positive move that she's making, a move up in class and for a higher tag this time around, especially since she hasn't raced in a month. So I'm 3-4-10 in the final leg, which makes my ticket go as follows. For 50 cents, I am 5-6-9 with 1-2 with 1-4-6-8 with 3-4-10. That's $36 for 50 cents. Mike, your ticket.
4, 5, 6, 7, 9 with 1, 6, 7, 8 with 1, 5, 7 with 8, 9 at $60. And London's going.
Why are they going to overlap, Rod? Yours
5, 6, 7, 9 with 1, 2, 4, 7, 8 with 1, 5, 7 with 1, 5 at $60. Bang bang.
45 seconds ago until this race at the Meadowlands. They tried so hard not to run over each other, but it's going to happen anyway.
London,
Go figure.
London's having
London's
some
already
graph.
at the quarter.
Yeah, they're almost to the
London's
half.
already at the quarter. All right, we'll get you the results of that race after the first leg of the Pick 4 from the Meadowlands, because we're going to go to break after this race. When we come back, we'll have continued coverage of the Pick 4 sequences here at the Meadowlands and at London, and then we'll be joined by Russ Adams for our analysis of Rosecroft Raceway. How do you do Wednesday? I believe, did you do well Wednesday?
7 winners. 7 top pick winners.
Wow. That's you can ask.
Yeah, he did well Wednesday. He's been doing well. I think he put up what he had the other day as far as winners, how many he had, and there were quite a few for the first three cards. So, and 20 to 1 is going to win at London. I hope you guys used a 6.
The 8's going by him.
Oh, I have the 6.
I have all.
Well, that's good. 1 to 5 is trying to get beat here.
I hope he does.
Well, we'll find out what exactly happens in that race at London as they make the turn over to the Meadowlands. We got to give him a cliff.
He's going by.
Fantastic cliffhanger. Even money favorite, the 9, Believe in Me.
Yeah!
He won.
Second choice at 7-2, the 7, Covered in Diamonds. Third choice at 9-2, the 5, Fancy Creek Jolene. Field of 9 for the 8th. Start of the Pick 4. In line, in behind, in motion, and approaching the start. They're off. Narcian Jewel showing speed from the outside with Milady Denver dashing from the center. To her inside comes Juxta Cowgirl, as well as Duck Duck Dragon and Whiskers on Kitten. Spread 6 across around the first turn. Milady Denver trying to get to the cones as she's 4 wide to the quarter. Duck Duck Dragon splits horses, as does Juxta Cowgirl to now move up and take the lead heading to that opening quarter. Away 5th, Give Me Your Heart ahead of Covered in Diamonds 6th. 7th away, Fancy Creek Jolene. Then back to Narcian Jewel, who abandoned her leave attempt. She leads the favorite Believe in Me to the back stretches. Now that one vacates the cones, edges off the rail to try and catch cover past the 26-4 opening clip. Juxta Cowgirl to the back stretches, a length and a half better than Milady Denver sitting second. Duck Duck Dragon remains third, while back 4th races Whiskers on Kittens to the half. Out from 5th comes Abatello and Give Me Your Heart to supply cover to Fancy Creek Jolene, while Covered in Diamonds stays put towards the pylons. Narcian Jewel's third up in that flow, now to race third to last, and Believe in Me, the even money favorite, about 6.5 lengths off the leader, Juxta Cowgirl, who passed the half in 55-1. 20 into that second quarter. Now they're midway around the final turn. Juxta Cowgirl a length better than Give Me Your Heart. Ask for More to the outside of Milady Denver. Then kicking 3 wide comes Fancy Creek Jolene. Tracking that one, Narcy and Jewel as she fans wider. And Carlson's trying to roll with Believe in Me as the backfield fans out. Past 3 quarters in 124. Juxta Cowgirl under pursuit. Outside Give Me Your Heart, the first to pressure. Deeper on the track, here comes Believe in Me to blow by them all. Believe in Me, Give Me Your Heart is fighting onto the inside, but Believe in Me trying to get past and does so narrowly. At the line, Believe in Me, a nose better than Give Me Your Heart. 153-1.
Well, that was brutal if you had the one there. God.
Yeah.
That horse was giant.
That horse, I really, for some reason, this is the card where horses I really liked last week are now all of a sudden good. I had Give Me Your Heart top pick last week, and here she's at
You shouldn't give up on them that easy just because they don't race perfect. I mean, you liked them for some reason last week. There's nothing wrong with taking them again. You got 50-1.
Well, last week was also a really rough card because no one could close. No one could race. Anyway.
Yeah.
9-1-7.
The one was giant in that race.
Oh, by the way, Russ Adams did send me his Meadowlands Pick 4 ticket before it started. He is still, he is not live. He had, oh wait, no, I read that wrong. Sorry. He is live.
How do you not use the 9?
So he's live to 3, 4, 8, 2, 5, and 3, 9.
All right, well, more action from the Meadowlands coming up in the second hour of this show, as well as a continuation of the late.
Good result at London, too, if you had that horse.
Over at London. What is that result? Well, you're just going to have to find out. More North American Harness Update coming up after these enlightened teachings from wiser men than us. people aged 20 to 34, you don't stop. And all of the tax collectors, you don't stop. And most importantly, we don't stop. Welcome back, ladies, gents, others in between, as I'm trying to readjust my studio.
By the way,
Yeah.
you got to give the results from race number 9 at Western Fair.
Why does everyone act like I have the attention span of a grasshopper? I know what I'm doing. Give me a second. I'm just trying to make sure that, okay, there's that.
And then go look at NAHUpicks.com.
Finally. So this has been one of those days. The only way I can describe how this day has been for everyone who genuinely cares at home is that when I went and I bought breakfast this morning, and I opened the door, the wind blew it out of my hand and it fell onto the ground. So I got to eat dirt eggs. It's been a very, very.
Why not just go back in and buy more?
Well, because there's only so much money in my pockets, Mike.
Well, that's better than eating food off the ground.
Well, no, because it's either I eat the food off the ground, right?
Like, you had $2 to show or something, and then go and spend another $2 and get yourself some more eggs.
Well, no, it's either that or I don't have gas for the week. It's a grind.
$2?
It's a
money, Rod, for Christ's sake.
It's a grind. So over at London, I can. Here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna pull up the replay from London, right? Because we have the time to do this. Except for some reason, Western Fair has to be a W, so I have to go all the way down to the W's.
Yes, that's the first letter of Western.
Yes. And then, it was the 9th race? It's not even there. Okay, so I'm just going to act like how the stretch drive went.
It's not there.
No, and it's not yet. They haven't uploaded it. So, presumably, this is how the stretch drive went in the 9th race at Western Fair. This is my Shannon Sugar Doyle impersonation. And they're coming into the stretch. Big Yellow, the favorite, trying to get by. But here comes Fast Glider. And boy, he is gliding fast. Wait, he was 20 to 1. $42 winner.
He was on the front end.
$42 winner. I'm not. Why does everyone look for accuracy?
Hey.
I'm just having fun.
Hey.
Look at what you made me do. I'm upside down now. My world is falling apart. Although,
did you look at NAHUpicks.com? Because that's a nice cold exacta for $118 on NAHUpicks.com.
That's a big exacta for those two.
I was too busy huffing the marker, but we'll stop doing that. We're all alive in this pick 4 at London.
That's pretty good. How much money's left?
That's a good question. What's really stupid is I didn't bet my ticket for $4.80.
Oh my God, Ray.
But at the same time,
I go through this every week.
I can't even get this camera to stay, so I should probably just give up while I'm. Nope, there it goes. I just give up while I'm ahead.
They're post-parading. They're going off with the post-parade at Western Fair for race 10.
Oh, race 10. Okay, so I have the 5 singled, and then Rod has the 4 and the 5. And
I have the 5 and the 6. How do you guys not use the 6?
How do you use the 6?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
What? Oh yes, I love horses that finish 8th by 8 lengths.
Okay, but did you look at the actual? Do you just look at like the finish, or do you know where they ran and how they ran, or anything like that?
Well, first off, they don't run, so I gotta step on you there. Second off, I don't even know where I am right now, so I don't know what you're expecting from me.
Okay, let me ask you this: how does Non-Winners the 3 at Woodbine relate to these horses here? How would you think? Does Non-Winners of 35,000 lifetime? Better or worse?
Better, but I don't think by much.
Oh my God.
It depends. It depends on the group of horses. I've handicapped those races. I understand.
Okay, but straight Non-Winners the 3 at Woodbine are way better than these horses.
Okay.
Way better.
Well, my thing with the 6 is he's unproven on the half. He's got
Okay.
a race at London where he broke, and he had a qualifier at Flamborough where he broke, and that's all he shows.
Well, he didn't break. Okay, I mean, there's something to that maybe, but last time he was off the layoff, first up, well meant and legit, but he just got tired. So, you coming to visit? Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with his horse, and he fits from a class standpoint. He just has to beat the 5.
And the 4.
Rod, you
The
keep
4
forgetting.
never wins. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I said to Rod when we were handicapping this, I considered possible credit, but then as I kept looking at the program, I remembered, oh wait, he has to beat AJ Cash.
Well,
no, I don't
he
think
did a
anyone
stone
did.
cold perfect trip last time and still could only get beat 6.5 lengths. So that's why I don't like the 4.
Meanwhile, did anyone catch how much live money is left in this pick 4?
I did
No,
not.
I keep looking.
Oh, how many minutes are we to the Meadowlands also?
They'll
0.
run about the same time.
Just can't win in this game, except when we do, and it's possibly going to be for a decent amount over at London.
The early pick 4 paid almost $500 in London. Nice. Did you have it, Rod?
I did not see the numbers. I don't think I did. I missed the second leg.
I just remember there's supposed to be 30 degrees tomorrow. It was 80 today.
It was not 80.
Where?
What do you mean? What? You can't tell me what it was. It's how I feel. Anyway, so 2 minutes to go until this race at London. 3-5 favorite, the 5 AJ Cash. He's my single in this pick 4 sequence. Rod is alive to the 4 and the 5. Let's be honest, he's just alive to the 5. Mike is alive to the 5 and the 6. 6 currently on the
6
board.
is 7 to 1 and very good value.
Now it's 6 to 1. He's going down. That value could be deteriorating. 1:30 to go. You can tell there's a minute and 30 seconds to go to this race because of how Robert Shepard is just hurrying his way to the gate.
I didn't look at Rosecroft either. I did not have time.
Well, then there's going to be 2 of us giving it a fresh look, and thankfully
And Russ Adams will be here.
Only because the program didn't come out till today, and I was extremely busy today.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was.
For those who haven't been keeping up with Mike's Instagram feed, he's trying to open the first bakery in Ukraine.
Right.
And it takes a lot of work. You got to go through all the proper channels. You have to pay off the mobsters to make sure they don't assassinate you. It's really a hassle. I would know. 3 to 1 now on your 6, Evan Hanover. How much money are you betting on this guy? Jesus Christ.
I'm not betting a dime on him.
Yeah, you were clearly not betting a dime on possible credit either, because this horse has just been drifting up.
Are
AJ
we
Cash.
still on video?
Yes.
AJ Cash is 1 to 2. Now, okay, 15 seconds to go. We should be going for a start. It was hard to tell with just how everyone was lollygagging around the track.
And by the way, I did bet the 4.
This is the drum roll to the gate.
6 is down to 7 to 2 now. Late money coming.
I did just put a bet in on the 4 there at 9 to 1 currently. Great value.
Not nearly enough to get me interested. He was 20 last time.
7 to 2 on the 6 is way short.
3 to 5 on AJ Cash. Second choice, that's 7 to 2. The 6, Evan Hanover. 2 third choices at 6 to 1. Daylon Phantom and Impressively Done. At the start and they're off. Gotta get me some of that. Caught behind Daylon Phantom as he was off stride briefly. And now gotta get me some of that off stride towards the outside of the course. Meanwhile, around the first turn, getting to the top possible credit. leads impressively done briefly as now Shepard pulls from second towards the top, tracking him St. Louis and the favorite AJ Cash, who's now swooping up to take command of the opening quarter. Evan Hanover sits fourth. He's rough-gated, taken to the outside, and now Ray lost him. He's off stride. Evan Hanover on a break past the quarter in 29 3/5. Rounding the second turn, AJ Cash leads here by a length and a half. Second, and then impressively done from Possible Credit third. She's a Chunky Monkey back fourth into the stretch first time. Then it's Daylon Phantom. That completes the horses on stride. Then towards the back, Evan Hanover still on the gallop. And gotta get me some of that, presumably somewhere on this course. If not, he's pulled up. Half goes in 1 minute and 4, 31-1 that second quarter. Daylon Phantom pulled from the back and is now off stride into the turn briefly. He veered out, and now he's off stride. So there's 4 left on gate into the backstretch to try and catch AJ Cash, who's cruising on the lead here by 2. Impressively done sits second from Possible Credit third, 3 lengths from the lead. She's a Chunky Monkey, fourth just by virtue of staying flat. Then it's back to Daylon Phantom, about 5.5 lengths behind that one as they go past 3 quarters in 1:30-2, 29-3. That third quarter, AJ Cash is now coasting away. He leads by about 3 lengths from impressively done second. Possible Credit's back in third. Daylon Phantom is rushed up into fourth, but he's at least 9 lengths off the leader, who is AJ Cash into the lane, cruising away from impressively done in second. Possible Credit third. 1-5 favorite AJ Cash indeed gets the money. Impressively done second. Possible Credit third. Daylon Phantom fourth. Then She's a Chunky Monkey cross the wire. We're expecting to see Evan Hanover, and gotta get me some of that. They'll take their time, but AJ Cash, a winner here in 2 minutes and 2/5. There we see Evan Hanover finishing the race like a champ.
Meadowlands is getting ready to go.
Fantastic. All right,
I'm
so
5 deep here.
I'm live off that single over at London, as we all are. Meanwhile, at the Meadowlands, I have the 1 and the 2. Mike has the 1, 6, 7, 8. Rod the 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8. Rock of Cashel taking a ton of money. I can't say I'm a big fan of this horse. He's seen better weeks, certainly.
He's a legitimate horse. He's just off form.
I think he was a legitimate horse at this point. He has to prove it to me at some point.
Well, I mean, that's all right.
Casino Cutie at 5-1. That's a good price. I'll bite.
I mean, that horse should have won last week and had nothing.
Mike, you seem to be forgetting that horses could not close.
It didn't matter. He didn't do shit. He didn't do nothing.
Good save. As someone who is into biases as you are, I'm genuinely dumbfounded by your lack of bias towards biases.
Okay.
And that grunt is a sign that I am going to die soon. This race is lining up. 8-5 favorite, the entry of Art Credit and Final Dream. 5-2 on Rock of Cashel, 5-1 on Casino Cutie, who is off stride before the start.
Probably not going to win.
Cancel
She
your ticket.
found out I put money on her. She's off stride. The rest are off and trotting, except for Alaska, who tried to leave. She's on a gallop. 2-Hip Dip tried to leave too. He's off stride. So that leaves a couple left on gate in the first turn. Alaska's back on gate, but she caps out the field on stride. Arch Credit got towards the top, is now swooping up towards the lead. His stablemate, Final Dream, to take control of the opening quarter. Can't cut that chip. Away third. Then back fourth comes Chelsea's a winner to the opening quarter. Away fifth then comes President Zet ahead of Rock of Cashel. Alaska's then away second to last of the on-stride group. Way Hanover trails. It's a long way back to 2 Hip Dip and Casino Cutie, who broke at the start. 29 seconds the opening quarter. Arch Credit going to dictate the terms heading to the half mile. Final Dream drafts from second, while outside and moving comes President Zet to push up towards the lead heading to the half mile. On cover comes Rock of Cashel up to be fourth now. Can't cut that chip. Shuffled to fifth. Alaska's third over and sixth. They're then back to Chelsea's a winner entering the outer flow, while Way Hanover shown the whip, trying to keep trot through a 58 and 2 half, 29 and 2 for that second quarter. Arch Credit to the far turn, pressured slightly by President Zeta, neck away on the outside. Final Dream gaps a touch from third. He's stride for stride with Rock of Cashel poised second over, ready to kick 3 high here for Callahan. Behind that one comes Alaska, beginning to fan wider of that one. There's a go past 3 quarters and 127 and 1, 28 and 4 that third quarter. It's Arch Credit into the lane, trying to hold off President Zet, but here comes Rock of Cashel off cover for Callahan to blow past them all into the 8th ball. Rock of Cashel cruising away from President Zet, taking second, then can't cut that chip, shoots through the inside. Chelsea's a winner, shows speed late. Rock of Cashel off the perfect trip, going to cruise away here for Callahan, win by 2 in the end. President Zet second, looked like Chelsea's a winner, might have taken third from can't cut that chip, but it's a photo, 155 and 3.
Boy, 6 was huge there at like 30 to 1. Ugh.
That was a good call on that one. Rock of Cashel. I said to Rod before this show, I should just retire because this car at the Meadowlands, I had no idea. I have no idea what's happening at this point.
This was a tough race, though. I mean, I
This was a
thought it
tough
was a very
car.
difficult race. And then you had the 4 run, the 2 ran early. I mean, those 2 eliminated themselves. The 7 ran early, raced huge from where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the 8 got a perfect trip. I thought the 6 was excellent in the race. I would bet that horse back. Oh,
Yeah.
that horse was really good tonight.
I believe. Okay, that's not a Buter horse. All right. 8-6, I think 5-3, so 5 to 2 over 28 to 1.
That's where he got third.
Over 14 to 1. Okay, over 10.
I think.
That would be 8-6-3-5. But again, the photo sign is up. Race over at the Meadowlands. The classic sound of turning the page. That's what tonight has been so far, except over at London, which I want to see some of the Will Pays right now.
Yes, we do need to check those out.
Oh wait, no, it's not official yet because the Inquiry.
There was an Inquiry in the 2.
Oh.
And also the 8 got to get me some of that. Who I believe was
He's going to be a non-starter.
Yep, he's a refund. Which makes sense because he was interfered out of the race, which would have been a recall otherwise.
Yeah, it was right before the start, so.
So that should I mean, no, that horse wasn't.
He wasn't used that much.
So that won't really impact payoffs incredibly. But the 11th race is coming up in 11 minutes. I am alive to the 1 and the 5. The 1 paying $65.30. The 5 $63.84. Okay. I mean, those are all right for a small little investment. It would have paid a lot. Dollar horse didn't go.
Well,
What are the Will Pays?
The 1 is 65. The 5 is 63.
I have the 4 also.
The 4 was much more. The 4 is 112.
There's some big ones, too.
yeah,
4,200.
they're decent.
1,500 on the
63.
2,
I'm live to the
63.
5 for 63.
563.
Yeah, but you guys saw the rest of the field, right? I'm just making sure we saw the rest of the field.
Pretty chalky.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Da-da, da-da. Da-da, da-da. Da-da, 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 da-da. Oh, it's Jaws himself.
Oh my god.
Oh, boys. What's up, everybody? It's all
Ross is here.
time for some rose crop. That's good because I am floundering right now, and I have had so many cups of coffee poured into my pants. I'm probably tired because they should have gone in my mouth. What a waste of coffee, especially pants. Oh man, Russ, I know your evening's just starting. You little party animal, you. I heard you had a wonderful Wednesday night over at Rosecroft.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a little chalky, but you can only pick what is in front of you, so you gotta do what you can.
Like your nose, for instance.
What'd you say, guys?
You can't make long shots win. You just kind of have to deal with what they give you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was seeing the ball okay, and we could have had 9. I didn't get Gypsy Rose home in the first race and got beat by Robert Hoffman, and then I believe it was race 8. Chilling at the V nearly got there, and Brian Burton snuck up the rail with breadcrumb income at 21-1 to snap me. But other than that, it wasn't a bad night.
You said you can only pick what's in front of you, and that's probably why all my friends are sick of me picking their nose.
I'm just kidding.
Right. You do that.
I got magical hands. What can I say? So, Rosecroft pick 3. What did this pick 3 pay last week? I don't remember.
Not much.
It was chalky. It was pretty chalky.
Well, the other one we did, though, was 2 out of 3, I think. The last time we did it, it was 2 out of 3 for Monday. Or Sunday.
For Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one we did. It was 2 out of 3, paid 2 out of 3 because it was 3 prices.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So,
I do not
So
remember.
that's why you got to get some money in these pools at Rosecroft. 2 out of 3 in a pick 3. And I think it was, a $20 horse that opened it. $15 horse in the second leg or third leg. I mean, it wasn't anything like $200 horses. It was...
Well, no, but it was 3. I thought it was a difficult sequence to have. I mean,
it was tough, but still, I mean, if the money's coming in these pools, you're getting a good payout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would have been good.
Yeah, it was sometimes it could be a tricky pick 3 sequence, and sometimes it could pay $10. So that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, they have pick 3s everywhere that pay $10 all the time.
But how...
Woodbine that I pay that much. So
I forgot Woodbine has pick 3s in all honesty. But Russ...
20-cent pick 3s, which is retarded, but that's another story.
That's true. It's the year 1996. We can still use that word. Russ, however,
He was a retard.
This week's pick 3 sequence, does it look better than last week's, in your opinion?
It does. I mean, it looks more... I had to spend a little bit more money this week than I did last week.
Well, that's just because your pockets are so loaded now. You have to.
He is flush.
Well, I just played it. I just played it how I see it. I mean, if I have to spend $18 or I have to spend $24 or I spend 50 cents to hit it.
Or if you have to remortgage your house. I mean, it's just how it goes.
I hope I don't have to do that, but anyway.
This first leg is the 4th race. It starts with the 4th race, every race card, presumably.
That is correct.
It's a $6,000 trot for hours of 3,000 in their last 5 starts. 9 horses going postward. And Russ, of these 9, who has your eye?
Who has my eye? That is a great
It's hard to tell behind those shades, let me tell you.
Yes. Of course, the 4th race... Of course, the 4th race has to be a trot race to start out the sequence. Trots are not my favorite, but I guess I'll deal with it. But anyway, second-time starter, you know what to do is getting class relief. Not class relief, but, post relief. That's what I was trying to say. I was getting all tied up with all your talk earlier in the show. Got me all screwed in the head. But, he was an even third. He was in the pocket, just had no room. He just got a check and lost to Maglio, and no shame to losing to Maglio there. But now he's moving up moving a little bit up, I guess. I guess it's the same level, but when I look at this field, there's no Maglio, and there's really the only horse that really scares me that I did not put in my top 3 was Arrow Creek Mercury. I think that horse is probably going to need a race because that horse hasn't raced in 2 months. Yeah, and if Arrow Creek Mercury would be racing like regularly, this horse would be the favorite in this race. So if you guys are playing to pick 3, I would wait on the 1 week. and see how the horse does. But, people out there will be like, I think he'll be all right. Trust me, this horse needs a week. Mm-hmm. And then the other horses I'm eyeing on are the 7 Catalina Cash coming over from Dover. And Mike Cole was driving that last time. It was pretty much he was first over, and he was pretty much said sayonara at the 3/4 pole. And, yeah, he didn't finish very well. But now Jeffrey Stafford's got him, and Eddie Davis Jr. is in the bike. I figure change of scenery. This horse has never been to Rose Crop before. I'm figuring, it seems like when horses come from other tracks and comes to Rose Crop, especially in Ohio. When I see horses come from Scioto and Dayton coming to Rose Crop, they always glide right by this track, and they always win first start usually. It's weird, but it seems like every time they come from like Ohio or like Dover or something like that, these horses always seem to win or very close is what I should think. And I would say my third choice in here would be the 2-horse. That is Whiskey in My Water. Trevor Stafford trains and Tyler Davis drives. I see that Roger Plant took the 4 Some for All, and that's another horse that's going to need probably a race or so. So that's why I didn't rank that one higher. Mm-hmm. I ranked the 2 higher over the 4 because the horse had a start last week, and also now there's a driver change because Roger always drives the Welty horses. So if you guys are wondering why if Roger got kicked off the horse, that's not the case. He always drives for Welty, and usually that's how it goes. So, and plus Tyler Davis has been pretty hot so far, 4 for 6. Mm-hmm. He's hard at Rod Allen's when he gets hot and picking horse races. So
I don't know about that.
I'm not really sad about seeing Tyler Davis driving. I mean, could he be more aggressive with the horse this week? Absolutely. I think he'll be a lot closer than what he was last week, and he could round out the triple. And like I said, Some for All could get 4th in here, just on back class alone.
So the numbers you use in the first leg
are 6, 7, 2, and 4 for your Rosecroft viewers, or if you're at the track, you get top 4. Here on the NAHUpicks.com, you only get 3. So,
but in the pick 3, you're using.
I am going to use. Let me see where my number's at. I'm probably going to just use 6, 7.
6, 7.
Correct. No whiskey in my water. Nope.
Oh, all right.
No, I like tequila instead, but that's just me.
You like whiskey in your whiskey. I got you. Yeah. Rod, though, I kind of have a hard time using the 7 Catalina Cash. Like, I get the class drop, and I get the horse shipping over from Dover, but that last mile in particular, it's not like he was gaining ground or anything. It's not like he finished in a remarkable time. He was losing ground. She was losing ground in that race. Do you even use this horse, or where do you go?
I didn't. I'm a little bit curious. The horse is going to the Stafford barn, so, I like that move. But I'm not going to use the horse in the pick 3. Instead, I'm going for even numbers here. The 2 Whiskey in My Water. Like Russ mentioned, this horse gets Tyler Davis. It's the Allard connection with Trevor Stafford. Gets an inside post, has a decent shot here. Just needs a trip, second start back off the layoff. So I'll give this horse a slight chance here from a good spot. The 4, Some for All, comes in off a win, has been sharp the last 3, has missed time though, missing 2 months. So be cautious there. But the horse is quick enough if he's ready. The key is
and that's big.
Just been off.
And that's big. Right.
And then,
sorry, Rod.
And then the 6, You Know What to Do. I used this one, second start back off the layoff, and that was about a 3-month layoff that this horse went through. I expect this horse to be right there. Probably going to be the favorite here, and deservingly so. This is going to be the horse to beat in a race, being second start back, and it's Sean Beer, who does pretty well. So we're going to go that route here. 2, 4, and 6 for me.
One more question I pose is, it looks like the 6 on the track of the Meadowlands. Just do a head number. Huh. Don't see that. But I get taking the horses that at least have a start under their belt because you want horses that are a little bit tighter as opposed to these other ones. I keep looking at Senor Gennaro though. I understand his horse hasn't raced in 2 months. From that outside post, does he go? Because if he goes, I could see this horse as a valid contender.
If anybody else drove, I could see it happen. I mean, he did race really well 2 starts back in December 12th. Jackie McLeod, he used to have a bunch of horses a long time ago, about 10, 20 years ago. He doesn't train very many anymore. He's actually our blacksmith here at Rosecroft.
Oh, okay.
So he's always here, and he's always shoeing horses and stuff and whatnot. And Jackie doesn't drive a whole lot anymore. I mean, this is literally his first drive of the meet, but he's usually driving mostly trotters nowadays. And and I mean, if the race breaks down, he can get a check for 4th or maybe 5th. But I mean, if some crazy nonsense happens, then yeah, maybe. I mean,
You guys are missing the winner, though. Nobody's mentioned it yet.
Oh, who's the winner? Is it 3?
Don't tell me Wang.
I like the 9 for sure.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
How can you not like that horse?
Well, of course, Mike loves this horse because it was once a Woodbine horse.
Well, yeah, the horse has legitimate speed. Has faced much better types. The qualifier's decent. That race at Philly wasn't horrible, considering what was going on there. The horse had missed almost 3 weeks and raced well, and then sat until Rosecroft. Now that this horse, if this horse gets any position off the gate, can win this race quite easily.
You got a lot of faith. You got a lot of faith in him, and I wish you luck. And the horse. The other day, when I saw the horse qualify, he was a little step slow, and he made his move at the 3/4 pole, and he had a lot of trot. But he still came home at 31-1.
That's all right. It's a qualifier. I mean, they weren't looking to win the race.
No,
they might not be looking to win this race, but I mean, the next 2 races, this horse is going to be good.
That sounds a little problematic in terms of a pick 3. But
right.
Well, I mean, I think it's worth including, and you're going to get a prize.
You could be right about that. He could win. I mean, it's not impossible, but I probably would wait 1 start, like Some for All and Air Creek Mercury. That would be the 3 horses I probably wait a start.
Well, there's other stuff that laid up too. I mean, the 8's laid up.
That too. Yeah.
I mean, the 4's laid up. There's a lot of laid up stuff in the race. I could see using the 2. I would beat 2, 6, 9 if it was me.
Right. But where I'm going with the 7, if this race was run like 3 weeks later, and this horse, if I saw this horse's form, I would never use this horse. But with a lot of these horses that haven't raced since freaking December 16th, December 12th, I'd give more credit to the 7 horse than I do the rest of those horses because we don't know what we're going to expect. We have no idea.
I don't see a line on the page that lets me play this out. Period.
You're the Woodbine King, and I'm the Rosecroft King. So.
Oh!
Okay.
I'm 2-6 in the first leg of the pick 3 over at Rosecroft. Those are the 2 horses I could see feasibly using. No 9, 0 9.
When the 9 wins, I'm gonna be blowing up phones like you can't. I can't wait. I've done it before.
Well, this 10th race, the Meadowlands is going. It's the 3rd leg of the pick 4.
By the way, I had the 2. By the way, I had the 2 and the 5. By the way, I'm still alive in my ticket.
Ah, okay.
I really like the 2 in this race.
Mike and Rod are alive. Mike is alive.
I used to own the 2. He's junk.
You guys are both alive for the 1, 5, and 7. Yeah, the Catamount Kid is more like the Crap Amount Kid. Field of 10 lining up. I just asked Mike. He owned the horse.
Yeah.
I did.
8-5 favorite. The 5 waltz across the wire. Second choice at 5-2. The 1 Abby Laura. Third choice at 7-1. The 7 Western Red Hot and the 10 Spanish Art. Field in line, in behind at the start. Now they're off. Barry blasting with Spanish Art from the far outside with I'm Sim the Kid also sending from the center. Waltz across the wire, the favorite. Floating away for position as One More Miracle gets to the pylons around the first turn and now takes the pocket. while I'm Sid the Kid now swoops up to take the lead. Away fourth, Abby Lara as waltz across the wire, advances uncovered to the opening quarter. The Catamount Kid is away fifth. Sixth away, then A-Shock Ace ahead of Western Red Hot to the inside of Artistic Cruiser, rather Spanish Art. Then it's Artistic Cruiser wide of Justin Berlander in the back of the field as they go past the quarter in 28 and 4. Abby Lara's pulled from third for Gingras and has shown the whip to take command from waltz across the wire, passing 3/8. I'm Sid the Kid is drafting behind the top two from third, while one more Miracle stalks from fourth, 3 lengths off the new leader. The Catamount Kid then is edged to the outside. Supplies cover to A-Shock Ace, who's about 6.5 lengths off of Abby Lara as she passed the half. He passed the half in 57 and 1, 28 and 2 in that second quarter. Here comes a move from I'm Sid the Kid out from third for Dexter Dunn to blitz Abby Lara into the final turn. I'm Sid the Kid, a neck ahead of Abby Lara, fighting onto the inside. Then it's waltz across the wire, locked in by the Catamount Kid, 2.5 lengths off the dueling leaders. Spanish Art from the back of the pack, then's 3 high for Barry, up to be fifth, but with 4 lengths to make up, past 3 quarters in 1:26, 28 and 4. I'm Sid the Kid trying to get past Abby Lara, who's stubborn towards the rail. Waltz across the wire behind them with Spanish Art rallying towards the center and deeper on the track. Western Red Hot, line coming. I'm Sid the Kid desperate. Western Red Hot rallying, and in between Spanish Art, but I'm Sid the Kid holds on by a nose to win it. Western Red Hot second from Spanish Art, and Abby Lara in 1:55 and 3.
You think if he could have kept the 7 straight, he wins the race? Like
Yeah.
by about 10 feet. I mean, that was just disgusting.
How bad was that drive? How bad was that drive on the 5? Did someone tell me that?
Oh my god.
Going to NAHUpicks.com. I'm Sid the Kid behind 8 was my second choice in the race, 13 to 1. I wouldn't say
They're
that's
going
bad.
to London.
They're going at London. Okay.
They're finishing at London.
Wait,
5.
where's Western Fair?
5-1.
5-1.
By the way, if you looked at NAHUpicks.com, that was a straight pick 4 straight top pick selections on NAHUpicks.com for me.
Not bad.
Wait, who won the last Blue Moose?
Yes.
All right, we
You know what we do when we do that?
Well, the catch, though, is that you could have always played my ticket from Western Fair, which cost half that of Rod's, and just played it for 40 cents to make even more money.
That was a pretty. I thought it was a pretty fair sequence tonight there. I mean, it was. You could play small tickets and do well. I thought.
I don't have any sound effects for ice cubes, but that's cold
I
as
think my
ice.
ticket was $12. What was yours? 4, and Rod's, what was yours? 8 or something. So mine was
$9.60.
but
Mine was $9.60.
Okay, so
but still paid 60 or something. Yeah.
63.
Once again, we have come to learn that I am the superior ticket master.
You were out after the second leg at Meadowlands.
That's my home track. It's different.
I needed the 7 there.
What's unfortunate is that if I used Rock of Cashel, I would still be alive because I had I'm Sid the Kid on my ticket.
That's a good pick. I did not.
How do you not have the 8 in that spot?
Because Rock of Cashel has been Rock of Crapple in the last couple of starts.
It was just that race, though. It was just so bad.
It was a terrible race. I agree.
Hey, we got 10 minutes to run through 2 legs.
Well, that's how many you have, and you've been going 30 years, so bite me. Next race at Rosecroft, 5th race. Second leg of the pick 3. It's a $5,000 claiming event with allowances. Russ, I want these allowances in my mailbox by midnight on Wednesday, okay? Don't screw me over this time. We got 8 horses going posted. 8 horses.
I guess you're screwed then.
8 horses. No, you're screwed, Russ. I will find you and I will kill you. We got 8 horses in this next race at Rosecroft. Don't look at me so seductively with only 9 minutes to go. You're going to make me want to go on. But,
Oh my God.
Russ, of these 8 horses, how many are actually usable?
That's a good question. There's only 3 horses I can use in this race, and it's not the 3. I can tell you that.
Okay.
If you bet the 3, then yeah, I don't know what to say. But anyway, I like slightly the 4. I bet this horse on top last weekend. He was a bit disappointing. I wish he would have. I know he went first over, and I thought he should have won the race. There wasn't much in that race except for Mr. Big Bucks, and I thought he was gonna roll, and he didn't. I was a bit disappointed. Now you get Alan Davis, so I feel a little bit better about it. So I guess I give him a slight edge. And these are claiming races, and you know how they are, and they're not very good. But what can you do? My second choice, I had a heck of a time picking this second choice. I went Carter's Caper. Chris Devine claimed this horse on last Sunday, and what was funny, who won that race was Mr. Big Bucks, and the owner of that horse was Chris P. Devine. So he decided, you know what, I'm going to pick this horse up as well, and there's a good reason why, because it looks like there's some positive upside. Even though the horse has won for 42 the last 2 years, that's not very good. But now he's in the Jason Walters barn. They'll probably rack up a few wins as time goes along. I wouldn't expect this horse to win the first time out, but you never know. This is such a bad field. Anything's possible. And then the third place horse, I have a Carl Royal N, who won last week to end that wonderful pick 3 at Rosecroft that paid 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. And now you get Frank. That's not really that. That's just as good of a driver change as anybody else that could possibly drive this horse. And I like the fact that he came in with 28-3, and he was he looked like the only horse that wanted to pace. The rest of them looked like they were stuck in quicksand. Mm-hmm. And so those are the only 3 I would even consider. If you're looking for a 4th place horse with a super or something, I would say Debt of Honor. But the only 3 horses I would even consider using are 4, 7, 8.
That's interesting, because I might be going deep in this
Go all. I wouldn't be upset. Just throw out the 3. You don't need the 3.
No,
I don't have the 3.
I'll retire the 3 one.
I'm actually the exact same as Russ here. The 4, 7, and 8. I saw nothing else in here. I can't. I'm with Russ on this. I can't use the 3 with a P driver off the qualifier. He's been off. He's taken a giant drop in class. Obviously, there are issues there. I don't like that at all. It's a big red flag for me, so I'm staying away. 4, 7, 8 for me.
I'll get you. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Mike.
I mean, what's wrong with the 2? That was a decent rally last time. Passed some horses, kicked 28-4, draws better, gets Foster now. You got 8-1 morning line. The horse won 4 times last year. It's not the toughest field in the world. I could see that horse. I mean, he's was never offered for a tag for quite a while. I don't hate him compared to some of the other ones.
I mean, I like
the 8 raced really well last week, I thought. I mean, the horse did get a little bit of a perfect trip, but was flying from the 3/4 the whole way, home. That was a huge move that horse made, and never really looked like a loser the whole way around.
Right. Well, the only positive I see about the 2 horse at all is Russell Foster driving the horse. Other than that, Brian Tomlinson's over 15, hasn't hit the triple yet. The horse hasn't seen. The horse has got I believe a 4th. That was last week, and yes, and he sat on the rail, did no racing, and snuck up the rail and got it checked. Because whenever Carl Royal raced, everybody was like, and anybody could have ran 3rd, 4th in that race, and. And somebody had to run 4th, and it was better.
But a lot of those horses are in this. Race. I mean, I don't know. I just.
Yeah, I see where you're trying to get value.
That's all.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool, and but Brian Tomlinson's over 15. He hasn't hit the board yet, so I wouldn't. That's not the odds of him winning is not too good.
He could always be 1 for 16, like I think he could possibly be.
No. You think he could be 1 for 16?
I think he could be 1 for 6. Oh, here's the
think
thing.
he will be after this race.
Here's the thing that I really like, and I feel like Mike's also pointing out. First off, he's drawing better. Second off, this is his now third start since the layoff. And the fact that he improved so much from his first start to his second start is appealing. The fact that he gained as much ground as he did, he gained 9 lengths in a quarter of a mile, which you don't really see at Rosecroft, at least this early in the year. You saw it from a Cardinals Royal, sure, but this horse showed a similar late kick that is worth noting. Moves up in class. Goes for 5,000 instead of 4,000 this time around. That's interesting to me. And so all of those put together makes me think this horse is improving and could certainly win if the cards fell in his lap.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I respect what you have to say. But
I'm not saying like he's my single. I have 5 horses in this race.
there's no way you can single the 2 horse. No way. No way. No.
I use 5 horses. The 2, I use the 4 Wake Up and Go, who I'm pretty sure we all touched on. The 5 Foxlands have been interesting to me. Scratched sick on December 16th, so hasn't raced since December 9th, or makes his second start since December 9th. That first start back isn't terrible. Just gave Chates to finish 4th in that race, coming with 28-4. I assume maybe second start out could put in a much better performance. I'm not sure how much of a better performance, but
He'll finish better than the 2. I can promise you that.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guarantee you that. I mean, I was talking to our racing secretary the other day, and he mentioned something about Foxland racing pretty well, and he's like, maybe you should consider him in your number that next week. I said, I'll have to go watch a replay of that. Yeah, he's sound the rail in the same race as Mr. Big Bucks and Carter's Caper, Wake Up and Go. Yeah, he just went right up and passed the lane. He did come on 28-4. That was very encouraging to see that. There's not many Rosecroft horses going 28-4 down the stretch, except for Wake Up and Go in here.
And the 2.
Correct. Just for that one race, though. But most of the time, he's come home at 31, 30-4, 31-1, 30-4. I mean, I could run faster than that.
That's true.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, I could.
Even now, don't ask Russ to run. He will make your eyeballs bleed.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, he's pretty much right.
I use the 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 in the second leg. We pretty much touched on the 7 and the 8 as much as they need to. The one thing that appeals to me the most about the 7 is first start off the claim for the new barn.
Right.
Mike, I forget if you touched on. You just mentioned the 2. What numbers do you use in this race?
I would be probably 2, 7, 8.
2, 7, 8. Okay. That brings us to the final leg, the 6th race. Finally, this pick 3. Now there's a 2,500 their last 5 starts. Got 9 horses going postward. And Russ, I doubt you use all 9.
You are correct, sir.
Okay.
You're catching up to my.
On to something.
Yes, you are. This race is a real doozy. Let me tell you. I promise you, I did not use Bo Breeze. I can promise you that.
Okay.
I had a hard time picking between the 6 and 7. I kept thinking about it for about 10, 15 minutes. Then I realized, okay, Brian Thomas is 0 for 15, and Erica Wagner is 0 for 2. Who would you rather take? Erica Wagner is 0 for 2 at Brian Thomas, and that's 0 for 15. I know that's not the only thing you look at for your handicapping purposes, but who's been in tougher races? Bluebird Ideal. So that horse was racing at Dover the last couple starts. He had a nice race 3 starts back, and then the last 2 races just you got to forgive because he had the 89 hole, and I could forgive that. Now he's got a little better post. Now you get Alan Davis for the second time, and that horse was never being Diamond Keeper last week, and Diamond Keeper was pretty much odds on. So there's no Diamond Keeper in here, and the horses look a little weaker. So I figure, why not get Bluebird Ideal? And the horse is going to need a trip too. If he can get a decent trip, he should win by about a length and a half to 2, and maybe 2 or 3 to 1. But you never know about Rosecroft. It's so strange. And then I would say Concert Artist would be second. Yes, that horse is moving inside as well. You You do get Russell Foster. This is a Tomlinson horse. I think this horse could possibly win. Not the other one. I think this horse has a good chance. This horse used to actually be an open horse at one time.
Okay.
A couple years ago. Now he's fallen on harder times as of late. But this horse is. I know he left last start, but he's usually a one-dimensional horse that can only close. So I was really surprised when that horse left. So I don't know what Foster's going to do. I might have to have a little chat with him before the Sunday race and see what he's going to muster up with. But then for my horse for third, I'm probably going to go with number 1, Thomas Titan. And this is a horse that was absolutely needed the last race with Frank Milby, and the horse just pretty much won around the track. Didn't pass any horses. Didn't really excite me. Did come home in 28-4, but passed no horses. That was a little disappointing. But anyway, I know Tom's Titan is a lot better than what this horse is showing in the last several starts. Plus, you get John Wagner. That's not a bad thing. Even though he's struggling to start to be at 2 for 18, that's a little surprising. But I know he's going to wake up. And this horse could be a surprise for third. And then the horse for fourth, just in case you guys are getting frisky and you guys don't like any of those 3 horses I mentioned, then you can always use a fabulous horse called No Concert. Timmy Off is driving this horse for the second time for his dad. And this horse is a straight-up closer. He's going to probably be closing the same way Concert Artist is. So we'll see who gets the jump. The thing is, Timmy hasn't driven this horse too many times in his life because Chris has always been driving the horse. And I wish Chris's family well with her daughter right now. She's been going through a lot of stuff as of late. And we're praying for her, and hopefully everything will be okay, and hope we see Chris at the racetrack soon. But anyway, I like 7, 6, 1, 8, and I'm probably going to use all 4 of those horses in the pick 3.
Okay, so Rod, then, do those numbers sound at all appealing to you?
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm going to look at this race, I'll start with the 3. It's out of here. You get Milby, you get a decent post, and you get the horse dropping back to non-winners of 2,500 from the non-winners of 4,000. This horse has back class. I like him in this spot, and I like the addition of Frank Milby. Last 2 times that he drove this horse had a win and a third. Third was at this level. So, he obviously needs a trip, but could get there with some decent value. Then the 6, Concert Artist. I have nothing else to add there. It's Russ Foster. This horse fits well at this level and should be right there, second start back. And then the 7, Bluebird Ideal. Hasn't seen this type of field in a long time. Very classy horse and should play here. I think is probably going to take some money and might be the post-time favorite. So I am 3, 6, 7 there.
Hey, well, if the 3 horse wins, then you're going to have to do a Harry Callis call. It's out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Over.
Yes. When I watch a horse, I think of the mighty sport of baseball.
Yep. Pete Medhurst, our announcer at Rosecroft, always uses his Harry Callis voice every time he steps onto the racetrack for a post parade. So that's kind of cool. Just throw a little Rosecroft nugget at you guys.
Well, I hope I don't intimidate Pete with my hair, but Mike.
Well, you already intimidated me, so you're.
That's true. It's a defense mechanism. Mike, quickly your numbers, because I can just jump into this race at the Meadowlands because it's the final leg of the pick 4. We can get your numbers after this race. They're lining up.
Yeah, then now the Funk pick 4.